Listen and choose. Choose the best response.
I think I left the oven on at home. Could you save me a spot in line? Would you mind keeping an eye on my desk for a few minutes?
Did you hear back about the apartment application?
Why was the elevator out of service today?
I won't be able to pick up your prescription this afternoon.
Didn't the movie theater say the show starts at 7?
Did you finish grading the quizzes?
I've got some feedback on your short story.
Are you in for trivia night?
We're out of trash bags in the kitchen.
Conversation 1. Listen to a conversation. Hey, have you noticed the new neighbor's dog barking a lot at night?
Yeah, it's been keeping me up. I think it's just anxious being in a new place.
Should we say something or give it more time first?
Let's wait another week. It might settle down on its own once it adjusts.
Fair enough. I'll let you know if it gets worse on my end, too. Two.
Have you thought about what to get Sam for his birthday?
Not really. Maybe we should just go in on something together instead of buying separate gifts.
That's a good idea. I was thinking about that new board game he mentioned wanting.
Perfect, that works. I'll order it tonight if you send me the link.
Will do. I'll also grab a card for both of us to sign.
Three. My phone screen cracked again. I dropped it on the sidewalk this morning.
Again? Didn't you just get it repaired a couple months ago?
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's cheaper to just replace the whole phone at this point.
That might be true, especially if this keeps happening.
I'll look into trade-in options this weekend and see what makes sense.
Announcement. Listen to an announcement at a university event.
The Dean's Office is pleased to announce this semester's guest speaker series, kicking off next Thursday with a talk from a leading climate policy researcher. The lecture will be held in the main auditorium at 6 p.m., and seating is first come, first served. A brief Q&A session will follow the talk, and light refreshments will be provided afterward in the lobby.
Two. Listen to an announcement at a university club meeting.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Before we start building this week, I want to go over the schedule for the regional competition next month. We'll need to finalize our robot's design by next Friday, so if you're working on the arm mechanism, please have your part ready to test by Wednesday at the latest.
Three. Listen to an announcement at a university event.
Tickets for this year's spring formal go on sale starting Monday through the Student Center website. Prices increase after the first 2 weeks, so students are encouraged to purchase early. Each student may buy up to 2 tickets, and formal attire is required for entry.
Four. Listen to an announcement on the university radio station.
This is a reminder that starting next week, the North Campus shuttle route will be temporarily rerouted due to construction near the Science Building. The shuttle will make an additional stop by the library instead, adding about 5 minutes to the usual trip. Students are encouraged to check the updated schedule online before their first ride next week.
Academic talk. Listen to a talk on a podcast about archaeology.
How do scientists know exactly how old a wooden artifact is, sometimes down to the year? One powerful tool is dendrochronology, tree ring dating. Trees add one growth ring per year, and the width of each ring reflects that year's growing conditions. Wide rings in good years with plenty of rain, narrow rings in drought years or harsh winters. Because weather patterns vary from year to year in recognizable ways, the pattern of wide and narrow rings across a region forms something like a fingerprint for that stretch of time. Researchers build master chronologies by overlapping ring patterns from living trees, dead trees, and ancient timber, sometimes stretching the record back thousands of years beyond any living tree. When archaeologists find a wooden beam in an old building or a bowl carved from timber, they can match its ring pattern against this master chronology and pinpoint, often to the exact year, when the tree was cut down. This method has been used to date everything from Viking ships to ancient pueblos in the American Southwest. Tree rings reveal more than just dates, though. Unusually narrow rings across an entire region can flag a major drought or even a volcanic eruption that cooled the climate for a year or two. Next, we'll look at how ice cores provide a similar, though even longer, record of Earth's climate history.
Listen and choose. Choose the best response.
Can you proofread my cover letter?
Where did you put the conference lanyards?
What time does the museum open tomorrow?
Conversation. Listen to a conversation.
Have you decided which professors you're asking for recommendation letters?
I'm thinking my thesis advisor for sure, but I'm torn on the second one.
What about the professor from your research methods class? You did really well in that course.
True, and she knows my work outside of just one project. I'll ask her this week.
Good choice. Having someone who can speak to more than one class really helps.
Two, did you manage to book a campsite for our trip yet?
Almost. The site we wanted is booked, but there's a similar one just a few miles away.
Is it close enough to the lake? That was kind of the whole point of this trip.
It's about a 10-minute drive, so not right on the water, but still pretty close.
That works for me. Go ahead and book it before it fills up, too.
Academic talk. Listen to a talk on a podcast about behavioral economics.
Ever kept watching a terrible movie just because you'd already sat through half of it? That's the sunk cost fallacy at work. The tendency to keep investing time, money, or effort into something based on what you've already spent, rather than on what makes sense going forward. Economists point out that a sunk cost, by definition, is already gone no matter what you decide next. The money's spent, the time's used, and no future choice can get it back. Rationally, only future costs and benefits should matter. But in practice, people consistently let past investment influence what should be a forward-looking decision. In one well-known study, participants who had already paid for a non-refundable ski trip were more likely to go even after learning a much better trip became available on the same weekend, compared to participants who were simply offered both trips with no prior payment. The sunk cost of the first trip pulled them toward the worse option. This bias shows up everywhere. Companies pouring more funding into a failing project because of what's already been invested, or someone finishing a meal they're not enjoying because they already paid for it. Interestingly, some research suggests animals largely don't fall for this. A pigeon that's invested effort into one option will still switch to a better one if it appears, unlike most humans in the same setup. Next, we'll look at some practical strategies researchers recommend for recognizing and resisting sunk cost thinking in your own decisions.
Academic talk. 2. Listen to a talk on a podcast about physiology.
Why does flying across time zones leave you so exhausted even after a full night's sleep on the plane? The answer lies in your circadian rhythm, an internal, roughly 24-hour clock that governs when you feel alert, hungry, and sleepy throughout the day. This internal clock is run by a small cluster of neurons in the brain that respond primarily to light. Morning light exposure signals the clock to start the day, while darkness triggers the release of melatonin, a hormone that promotes sleepiness. Under normal conditions, this clock stays synced to the sun without you ever thinking about it. Jet lag happens when you cross time zones faster than this internal clock can adjust. Your body is still releasing wake and sleep hormones on your original schedule, even though the local clock says something completely different. Generally, the clock can only shift by about 1 to 2 hours per day, which is why crossing 5 or 6 time zones can leave you feeling off for the better part of a week. Interestingly, traveling east tends to cause worse jet lag than traveling west for most people. Flying west lets you extend your day, which the body adapts to fairly easily since it resembles simply staying up a bit later. Flying east compresses the day, forcing the body to fall asleep earlier than its internal clock is ready for, which is a harder adjustment for most people to make. Next, we'll look at how shift workers deal with a related but ongoing version of this same problem.